Hey everyone, it's Babyboy1012 aka known as Don Angelito. Today I'm going to be talking about the Xbox One and why it failed. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. And I'm going to let you guys know ahead, I'm not hating on Microsoft whatsoever. But I don't own an Xbox. I do play on the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation Vita and soon the PlayStation 4. So I'm going to be talking about the reason why Microsoft lost the E3 this year. And it's quite obviously because there was a lot of things that really messed up this year. First things I want to talk about is the backwards compatible. That the Xbox One does not have backwards compatibility. So what I'm thinking, this is by far the lead offensive of this system's sin. I'm going to be reading an article of what I think that was actually basically talking about the fails of the Microsoft, conference. So, it missed an opportunity which Microsoft could have capitalized. More recent PS3 models cannot play PS2 games. And the PlayStation 4 won't have backwards compatibility whatsoever. If the Xbox One could play your extensive backlog of the Xbox 360 titles, this would have been one small step over the competition. But it doesn't help that like the PlayStation 4 on your PSN purchases won't transfer over. Unfortunately, there's one move the way the next Xbox will be lacking in terms of versatility. So backwards compatible, is not gonna be an issue for me for the PlayStation 4 because I'm still gonna have my PS3. And yeah, sure, I don't mind playing the single player, but my little problem is that I hope they don't shut down the servers because I want to be able to re-download all of my games that I've purchased on the PlayStation 3 so I can keep playing them, even if just single players for the fun of it. So not being able to have backwards compatibility, as sure we would like to see our purchases that we made on our current generation towards the new generation consoles, so that way we can have more enriched environment and more detail of gaming. But then again, I can understand the reason why they didn't do it, but maybe not. But in my honest opinion, if they're gonna make backwards compatible for the new generation consoles, that would have been better for everybody, because you're able to play your old games like the Xbox 360 or the original Xbox One. I'm sorry, not the first generation Xbox, I meant to say, and the Xbox One generation games. So goes for the PlayStation 4, PS1, PS2, and PS3. But last night I was reading an article about Sony. They said they're working on a cloud system. I'm not sure if it's basically cloud, but I'm not really sure. I can't remember the name. Who are their new partnership? Is that we're able to play PlayStation 1, PS2, and PS3 games on the PlayStation 4, and that program is not going to start until next year. For me, I think that's an excellent idea. That PlayStation is, it's more concerned about their fans and about who wants to buy their consoles, and that's a good thing. But unfortunately for Microsoft, they don't care, and that's the sad part. Now, here's another issue. It's about the indie developers are not allowed to do self-publish on the Xbox One. Come on, that's just wrong. It seems like everywhere you look, there's another restriction on the Xbox One. As it turns out, independent developers will no longer be allowed to self-publish on Microsoft's new console. Now, not only are consumers limited when it comes to what their product can do, developers are being restricted as well. To be clear, they can still release their titles on Xbox Live indie games, where they will be buried under mountains of shitty games in order to publish their games on Xbox Live Arcade. They will have to get some kind of publishing deal directly with Microsoft or some other third-party developer. Of course, Microsoft competition has no much limitation. Gee, I wonder where indie developers will take their games now. Okay, that's another issue with the Xbox One. Indie developers are not able to do self-publish for their games for the Microsoft One, for the Xbox One. I'm sorry. What the fuck? Your whole fan base is about gaming. You want your gamers to feel the best experience of gaming of this new generation of gaming. I want to be able to experience the passion of gaming on the PlayStation 4. And I know I'm bringing the PS4 more because Sony said they're indie games friendly, which they are allowing the self-publishers to publish indie games on the PlayStation 4. And they have announced loads of indie games for the PlayStation 4. And why can't Microsoft do this for their fans? Because they don't care. All they care about is money and greed. And I think that's just a big issue that Microsoft is having. You cannot just, say, you know what, fuck you to all your indie games. We are not allowing you to do a self-publish to our game console that is coming out. And I honestly think that's just going to kill and hurt the fan base that you guys have for all your Xbox fans. I think Don Mattrick completely fucked up the new generation of Xbox. So, let's have another issue we're going to be talking about. You have to pay more money for used games. Gee, I wonder why. Let's see. One nice feature on the Xbox 360 had over the PlayStation 3, I'm even going to be honest with this one too, is how it gave you the choice to install or not. Notice the word I used there, choice. As a consumer, had the right to wait your option to decide whether or not you wanted to have your console read the game from your disc or hard drive. Microsoft has since done 180 on the idea of versatility of the choice of removing the option altogether. Installs are now mandatory, meaning that 500 gigabytes of just a lot smaller, of course. Now, I'm going to pause it right there. Self-installation? Okay, I know most of all the PlayStation fans out there from the PlayStation 3 are suffering this because I am going to use an example. I bought Battlefield 3 from the PlayStation Store, and the game itself is 18 fucking gigabytes. And that's like from the 160 gigabytes that I have on my PlayStation 3 and that 18 gigabytes, boom. Not to mention the DLCs that we got from the Premium Edition, boosh. That's going to go down even more. And the fact that the 500 gigabytes, I think, is going to even kill faster on the Xbox One. You might as well just say Xbox One, rest in peace. Let's continue where I left off, which is really ridiculous. Of course, it doesn't help that the actual amount available isn't actually 500 at all, but I digress. So what has this done? Well, I suspect a primary reason for this was justify their anti-used game policy. Reports indicate that you may be able to play some games on the same system, but it's hardly of any consolation when I can't even loan my games out to my friend. That's another issue. You can't loan your games to your friends. I want to be able to, I'm just going to use my cat as an example. I want to be able to say, hey cat, would you like to play on the PlayStation 3, but would you like to use my game? I want to be able to pick to choose who I want to lend my games to. So, because I paid the game myself with all my hard-earned cash, and I'm able to bring it home, play with it. If I get bored, if I get tired of it, I don't want to use it, I can just either sell it, give it to a friend, or I can just leave it in a shelf and collecting dust for years. And the fact that you're not able to do that anymore, what's the whole point of that? Like, really? So, let's continue. Reports indicate that you may be able to play... okay, sorry about that. But that's hardly any consolation when I can give it out to my friend. But not only did Microsoft confirm everyone's fear about not being able to use your used games, they take it one step further. You can play a used game if you pay a fee. Yeah, my face reaction went down when I said that. This alone is an atrocious thing to do, but it gets worse. Trust me, it really does. Unless you use a parental controls. Really? Parental control. What does parental controls have to do anything with this? If you have to pay full price to access the content, unless you use a parental controls This would utterly annihilate the second-hand market for the Xbox One, as buying used games end up costing more than the new one. Really? So it's gonna cost you more buying a used game? It's gonna be more, as if you're gonna be paying for more money, as if you're buying a game brand new. What the hell? Once again, Microsoft is leading the pack in innovation when it comes to screwing over your customer. I'm sorry, you guys. So, those of you who are Microsoft fans, I feel really bad for you guys. I mean, as a gamer, I love gaming. I don't own an Xbox, like I said earlier in my video. I'm trying to say, I mean, both consoles are good. They have cons and they have their goods and their bads. They got their strong points and they got their weakness. Every single gamer picks what games they like the most. And it's utterly insane what they're trying to do. It's really sad. Let's see. It won't work without Kinect. A device that wouldn't work. You guys remember when Kinect first came out for the Xbox 360? And how shitty it was? Well, here's something worse. I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about the whole Kinect thing. I think it's completely, utterly stupid, because why the fuck would I have a camera on my Xbox connected at all times, 24/7, even if it's turned up but it's still listening to the conversation you're saying? I'm more worried and concerned about privacy. Spying on you 24/7? No, that has to get the fuck out of here. They fucked up that even more. And my other concern is that you can't even play offline mode for at least an hour, and then you have to do a self-mandatory check 24/7 a day. So, my conclusion about the Xbox One, Don Mattrick, I think he needs to start this whole project from scratch and start listening to their fans. Because it's more important about listening to their fans and then money. Sony knocked it out of the park by revealing every single thing that every single gamer was having fears with from the beginning, from this year on February when the PlayStation 4 conference first came out. And I was watching the conference and I was worried about used games and, you know, a mandatory 24/7 online. Yeah, sure, I do have a good internet source, but I'm also concerned about the people who does not have internet sources. So, I would like you to tell me, what do you think of this whole Xbox One big issue? Tell me in the comments below. Like and subscribe my channel, because I'm going to be bringing out more information, and I'm going to be broadcasting some videos, hopefully once I get the PS4. Like I said in the last video, that I'm going to be making a comeback on fall, doing recording gameplays and, you know, showing my videos out there. But let's see what happens when on the releases of the next generation consoles. Who's gonna win? Do you think Sony won, or did Microsoft completely just fucked up everything up for everybody? Let me know in the comments below what you think of it, and I'm gonna reply to all your questions and what you guys think, and I'll make another video for you guys. I just been reading everything what I've been searching up over the internet lately, and here's another extra bonus information I want to give you guys. Don Mattrick said, quote unquote, earlier today, when I mean by earlier today is 11:14 p.m. for me in the Eastern time. He said, those of you who doesn't have a source of internet, well, they can just buy an Xbox 360. What exactly is he trying to say? He's trying to give you the big fuck you to those who can't afford the Xbox One or internet connection in their house. Well, that's it for me in this video. Comment below, what do you guys think about Microsoft's decision? Did Don Mattrick commit suicide for him and his employees? Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.